Hi everyone, if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back to another one of my videos. Welcome to today's long-awaited video. I don't know if it was just you guys, but I feel like I've been waiting to do this video for fucking ever, so I'm so glad that it's finally here. I decided to do this video in a two-part series. One will be today in the book haul, and part two will be a bookshelf tour. I thought about putting it into the same video, but then I was just like, you know what? I want to come back to my bookshelf tour so I can like see in a year what the difference between my shelves are, so I decided to split them up. So welcome to part one. We're gonna do a book haul today, and I'm very excited. My last book haul was in September, and it was a pretty small book haul, honestly. I naturally am just busier in the summer. I make more money. I have more money left over to spend on books. So summer, I definitely buy a lot more books. In the winter, I tend to buy less books, just like, and I'm not saying like I have like years of experience of book buying, but kind of just like what I've noticed for myself. I also went a little overboard on Christmas gifts for the people in my life, and I had to save a little since then, because like, yeah, I was very happy with all the gifts I got everyone, but that's because I spent a shit ton of money and a shit ton of time on them. So anyway, so I have accumulated a pretty big number of books. I think we have just over 20, and I'm very excited to show you guys. Some of these I was gifted, some of these I bought for myself, so I'll be sure to tag everybody who gifted me a book down below if they have a booktube, of course. And yeah, just special thank you to everyone who sent me books for my birthday, for the holidays. You guys were so sweet, and I'm very thankful. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into all of the books that I've accumulated in the past few months. So in this video, you guys are gonna see my obsession with red books. I genuinely don't know what it is. Red and white and black books, there's something different about them. I genuinely don't know what it is, but I love them a lot, and I love them a lot more than any other color books, so I buy them a lot more. Case in point, Bitter Secrets by Mia Knight. This is not really red, but it is a mixture of red and black, so I instantly bought it. Also because I was anticipating this so fucking much. This is book 2 in her Singed series. Singed? I don't know how to say that, but yeah, book 2, been waiting for it for a very long time. It came out on January 11th of this year, and I was so excited for it. And I decided, since it wasn't on Kindle Unlimited, that I was just gonna fucking buy it. Because I was gonna buy it anyway to read it on Kindle, I may as well buy it in paperback. I also have Bitter Heat, which is book 1, on my shelf. You guys will see it in the next video. So I knew I wanted book 2, and I got it. I always notice that these are like pretty tall books. Like, they're not extremely thick, but they are really tall. Like, this is my hand, they're about the same size as it, but they're like tall. And I'm not complaining, because I actually love tall books. I think they fit a lot better on my shelf, and they look very pretty. Much like this book. I'm not a huge fan of the color difference of this, because book 1 is white, book 2 is black. And I'm just like, what's book 3 gonna be? Because they don't go very well on my shelf, but I do think I fit them in pretty good, and you guys will see that in part 2 to this video. I will be teasing part 2 a lot, because I'm very excited, honestly. I haven't done a bookshelf tour ever, mainly because I've always been like kind of self-conscious of my bookshelf. I don't know why, because you guys compliment my bookshelf a lot, but I'm just like, oh, I don't actually have that many books. And then I look at it and I'm like, bitch, you do. And I don't say that in a bad way. I mean, I love my bookshelf and the majority of the books that I have on there, and I think it's really pretty, so I cannot wait to show you guys. Anyway, today's video is the book haul. We're gonna focus on that. So No Saint by Rhea Wilde is a book that I got recently. I was actually waiting on the package that this book came in to film this video. To my disappointment, opened the package to see a shiny cover. I am not a lover of shiny covers, okay? I'm not. They don't do it for me, especially when I'm filming. Because, like, if I'm holding up a book, I don't want to be doing that with it. And I never really realized how, like, basic this book is. Like, the story is great, but the book itself is kind of basic. And I don't say that necessarily in a bad way. I was just expecting a little bit more. But anyway, I'm very glad to have this book on my shelf because I really enjoyed it. And I'll probably be recommending it a lot in the future. And when I can pull out books and just like hold them while I recommend them, it makes editing so much more easy. A book that I recently read that I really enjoyed was Hawk by Jessie Hall. And I think I'm saying that right. It's Jess C. Hall. So I hope I'm saying it right. I love this cover. It's so true to the book. The heart and the hawk, number one. The hero's name is Hawk. He's so fucking hot, by the way. Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant. But the cover, Hawk, the heart, I don't know why the heart really is there. I mean, it's a love story, that's why. And then the like background of it, very fitting. I love it. It's a very pretty book, and I always love to like twirl books for you guys in hauls so that you can like see if you like the book. Because whenever I'm watching book hauls, I always look at the books that people are holding up to see like, oh, do I want that on my shelf? Because like, if I see the 360 of it, then it helps me better decide. So if I like twirl the books around as I talk about them, that's why. Next is Skeletons of Society by Marie Maravilla, and book 2 actually just came out in this Toxic Paradise series, and it's blue. So now I'm gonna have to rearrange my shelf when I buy it, of course, because I'm gonna buy it, to include like a whole series of multicolors. I don't have a lot of series on my shelf. I don't read a lot of series, and most of them stick to the same color. So I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but I do enjoy the sides because they are like mainly black with specks of red, so that's pretty nice. I really enjoyed this book, and I enjoyed the second book too. I just really want to get it because it's very pretty. But yeah, this is a motorcycle and cartel romance, and it has a badass heroine, and basically if I tell you that, you'll probably read it, because we all know how good those tropes sound. Then I got Blood Orange by Karina Halley, and I got this back in spooky season, like October, actually maybe just after October. I went on a little buying spree because I was just like, spooky season's over, how sad is that? Let's buy some favorites. So Blood Orange was not an absolute favorite. I was slightly disappointed in it, honestly, but I have the like prequels in this kind of same world to it. I say prequels loosely because they're not really necessary pre-reads, but like they're in the same world and they have very similar covers, so I have those on my shelf, and I was like, I need Blood Orange. I'm very excited to read Black Rose, which is the second book in this duet. I don't know when it's coming, but I also enjoy that cover. That cover is very pretty, so I'll probably get it too, regardless of if I love it or not. See guys, those are all the red books that I get. Red and black, ooh, they're just an unmatched combo. Okay, we're kind of all doing the books that I bought first, and then we'll get into like gifts. I didn't purposefully plan it that way, but it's kind of how it's happening. So Ominous Book 1 by K.V. Rose. Guys, look how fucking massive this is. This is my hand, like, yeah. It also is so thick that it like naturally splits in half, and this book is 750 pages. Ooh, that is why I haven't read it, guys. I'm absolutely terrified of this book and the second one. I bought the second book because it was like cheaper, and I told myself that I would spend $250 on books, and then Ominous Book 2 was exactly the amount of money that I had like left in that $250. So I bought it. Don't make me explain my reasoning for it, okay? I just bought it because I do want to read it, but will I read it soon? Probably not. I've had this duet on my TBR since July of last year. So yeah, I also said that I would read like Sick Fucks by Tilly Cole, this book, and a few others since like July, and I haven't read any of them. I usually have a better track record with TBRs, but this book, it's just been there forever, and it might stay there forever because the sheer size of it, it's absolutely terrifying to me. Another shiny book is The Isle of Sin and Shadows by Carrie Lake. This one was a favorite of spooky season. Like, it was probably the favorite of spooky season. It was so good, and I literally thought it was upside down. I think that about all the books when I look in the camera. I don't know. Yeah, this one, I really fucking enjoyed it. The mystery, the suspense, the hero, the tension, the chemistry, the smut. It was amazing. I love this book thoroughly, wholeheartedly. I think I rated it like 4.75, but it's probably closer to a 5-star read because it's just that good. And then the one similar, kind of in the same world, not really actually, but very similar, is Master of Salt and Bones by Carrie Lake. A little less good in my opinion. Like, this one I rated 4.5 stars, but I still really enjoyed it for a like age gap read, mysterious read, gothic read, very fucking good. Oh, also for Boss Employee. It was great. I just felt like I didn't love the characters as much as I did in Isle of Sin and Shadows, so I got these as a pair. They are unfortunately glossy. They don't really match on the side. This one's more black, this one's more blue, but they do go together on my shelf, and they do look very pretty. Okay, now we're getting into the gifts here. I think almost the rest of these are gifts. There might be like one that I bought myself, but I received God of Malice by Rena Kent from my lovely friend Kiana on Instagram. Absolutely amazing and incredibly supportive. Love her lots. And she sent me a signed copy, that's Rena Kent's signature, of God of Malice. She arc read this, I think, originally, and then I kept seeing it when she would post it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna fucking read it. Because I had read some Rena Kent before, and I enjoyed them, but they weren't like absolutely 5-star reads for me. Plus, they were a while ago, so after she posted this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. And oh my god, we have both been obsessed with the series since. It is so fucking good. And I'd say God of Malice is probably my favorite. I love it. The covers are pretty good, honestly. They have models on the cover, and then they have a discreet cover. She got me the discreet cover because she knows me, but I honestly like both of them. I weirdly like use both of them. I've recently been like exploring less discreet covers. I'll always love discreet covers. Like, I just feel like they're a lot more pretty, but also Men on Books kind of is starting to hit for me a little bit more. So anyway, God of Malice by Rena Kent. It's fucking signed, you guys. Thank you so much, Kiana, once again. I opened this, I think, on Instagram, and I was like fucking gushing over it. I was like, ah, I have it in my shelf. And yes, I do need to get the rest of the series because that series is 6 books long. Only 3 of them are out, but I need to get the rest of the series. I should do it ASAP. Next, I was gifted the controversial princess. I was about to say The Secret Princess by Jodi Ellen Malpaz. I read this one for spooky season. It's not spooky, but I read it then and I absolutely loved it. So I put it on my wish list. And then my secret Santa, who was Kelsey from Ruffalo Reads, got me this book and one other. So I will link her channel down below. A special thank you again to Kelsey. The Secret Santa for the booktube community was put on by Cheyenne. And it was just such an amazing, like, I want to say event, even though it wasn't really an event, but it was such an amazing thing for Cheyenne to do. Like, she really organized all of it, communicated it with everybody, and it was so wholesome to me, seeing like everyone open their gifts, like sharing thanks with everyone, and I just thought it was so fucking sweet. So yeah, thank you to Kelsey again for getting me this book. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I honestly forgot I had this on my wish list. I put it on there so long ago. I've now read this book twice. I read it I think in early 2021 and then again in 2022. I did really enjoy it. I don't think it's everything y'all hype it up to be, but I do think it's a solid 4 or 4.5 star read. I think Misha and Ryan are like a blueprint. Maybe not for some like uber popular, uber loved books, but I feel like they are a blueprint, and I feel like everybody needs to read this because it's a classic. Penelope Douglas is the classic, but also Misha and Ryan is just a combo that I love every time. And I think they set the blueprint for like those kind of relationships, like the high school bully relationships, but they're like really truly destined for each other and they're like really in love, but they also bully each other. Like, I feel like this set the standard for that, even though it might not be a great standard. These next ones are not from any friends in the book community. These are from my friends who live somewhere else in the country. So they sent me the Black Widow series by Bina Khan. So the first one, I've obsessed over it. I've talked about it so much. That is A Kiss of Venom by Bina Khan. Oh, I just love this book all around, and I don't know if they saw me gush about it, because I think they do occasionally watch my videos, but my two friends got me this whole series. I loved book 1 so fucking much. Book 2 was not my favorite, actually. I did not like that one. I rated it like a low 4 stars. Honestly, I should have rated it 3 stars, but I was still on the high from A Kiss of Venom, so I was being generous. Then A Web of Lies was also really good. I was once again still on the high from A Kiss of Venom, so it didn't compare, but I really enjoyed it, and I give it 4.25 stars, and it's a very addicting read, and I need to recommend it, actually, because I recommend A Kiss of Venom all the time, but I feel like this one is also really good. So yeah, this is a gorgeous series, and it fits so well on my shelf, so shout out to my two friends for gifting me this series. My bed is just like a mess of books right now, but they also gifted me A Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I read this so long ago, like in 2021, so long ago, not really that long ago, and I forgot that I had it on my wish list. So like when I opened the present and I was like, you guys got me this book, like why did you specifically get me this book? And they're like, well, you love hockey, Freya, and so we thought we'd get you a hockey romance. And I'm like, this is football. I don't think they really saw the grass here. Like, hockey also has helmets, but not grass. Anyway, they got an A++ for the effort, and a huge thanks for me. But I really wanted this book on my shelf because I was setting up like a green shelf at the time. And if you know me, or if you've seen any of my shelves on Instagram or anything, you know that I always go in color combos. Like, my whole shelf isn't organized in color, but I like to keep like and like together. So this went on a green shelf on my bookshelf, and it looks so good. Then Nikki from Nikki and Bookland got me Hush by Liza James. This is a sapphic romance series, or romance duet, sorry, by Liza James. And I think her and McKay read Vibe, the first book, for their book club, and I'm pretty sure they both really enjoyed it. So Nikki was kind enough to get me a gift for the holidays. I think she meant it for Christmas, but it got here in time for my birthday, so it was perfect anyway. And she got me Hush, and I actually have yet to read this. I felt like I've read it because I just think that I've read it for some reason. I genuinely don't know why, but I am very excited to read this. Whenever I'm in a sapphic mood, I stay in a sapphic mood. So the next time that I'm in a sapphic mood, this will be the first book that I pick up for sure. Thank you again to Nikki for sending me this book. We kind of did a little like book trade, because I also sent her one of the books that I love very much for the holidays, so part of our little book trade that we didn't really tell each other about. Okay, these next few, honestly, Kiana is like my book plug at this point. Every book that she reads, I at least check out on Goodreads. Most of them I put on my TBR. So she's like my book plug for books to read and books to send me, because she also sent me The Words by Ashley Jade. And this is once again signed. Like, oh my god. I only had one signed book on my shelf prior to Kiana gifting me all these, so like I'm so fucking appreciative. The way that I can just be like, yeah, I have a signed copy of The Words. Huge bragging point. Huge fucking bragging point. So yeah, this book I read back in February of 2022, I think, and I really enjoyed it, but I am a little nervous to read the like kind of spin-off books that just came out, which are The Choice and something else. I'm pretty nervous for those. I've seen some mixed reviews on them, but I mean, if I get to them in February, I get to them in February, but like I said, but very hesitant. Anyway, special shout out to Kiana because she got me this one signed, as well as a signed copy of the Sinner's Duet by Sophie Lark. Like, the way that Sophie Lark knows my fucking name, guys. She signed it in here and she said, "For freyleyce, what would you do?" Sophie Lark. What would I do? Well, I would just hit up Cole and Mara and ask if they accept somebody else. She also signed this one. And yeah, I love the series. I was obsessed with it when it first came out. And these covers are gorgeous. Like, when she first announced these, I was like, oh, I love those. I don't love the contrast between this because like, it fits nowhere on my shelf, but at the same time, I think I've kind of made it work. So, you know, thank you very much to Kiana once again. These books are so fucking gorgeous. Last book is Dark Poison by Bella Jewel. I read this one back in September and I really enjoyed it, so I bought it. And I thought I would love the series, but I didn't. I really enjoyed this one. I give it 4 stars, but then I finished the rest of the series and it was pretty terrible. Addicting, but not very enjoyable. So, it's here. It's on my shelf. I got it. Anyway, that is the end of today's book haul. Thank you guys so fucking much for watching. I know this video was very much anticipated and a little bit late, but thank you for your patience, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part 2, which is going to be my bookshelf tour. I'm filming that right now, so it'll be here soon. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my links are down in the description. I will see you guys in my next video very soon.